Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm really excited to be bringing to you a new series that I'll be releasing this winter. It's called Piste It Together. The idea behind it is I'm going to bring on a special guest from the ski industry, only the best, and we're going to discuss and come up with an outcome or a task for the day and then share our ideas and our thoughts on how we're trying to have success or achieve the outcome that we set. Also, I want you guys back at home to get to know the guests that I bring on and also get to know me a little better through this Piste It Together series. Now, just before I bring on today's and the first guest in Piste It Together, I just want to share a little anecdote about how I met him. So this young man I met when he was 10 years old here at Whistler Blackcomb, and I was his J4 Academy or J4 club coach just before he got into the race club here at Whistler. And now I can say that Sasha, when he comes on, he is a current Canadian national team member. And back then, when I met him when he was 10, I was the one trying to inspire and kind of help him understand skiing. And now today, Sasha is definitely going to do that for me. So without any further ado, let's welcome Sascha Gilbert. Sasha, welcome.
Thank you.
How are we?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Awesome, mate. It's great to have you here. Why don't you tell everyone back at home a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Sascha Gilbert. I'm local here in Whistler. This year is my first year on the Canadian national ski team, and I was competing on the North American Cup and European Cup circuits.
Awesome. And how was it this year? How did everything go for you?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, with ski racing, definitely lots of ups and downs, but good season, learned a lot. I think I progressed a good amount and definitely had some good times.
And why don't we just let everyone in? So obviously with Alpine, like with the Alpine circuit, you have your 4 disciplines: slalom, GS, Super G, and downhill. Where would you say your kind of specialties lie? Like where's your attention as you move into next season?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me at the moment, my specialties are kind of GS and Super G. I'm also racing some downhill, but more at this point, it's more so to help my Super G. Hopefully when I get a little bit bigger, a little bit older, learn the tracks a little bit more, it'll be get more competitive in downhill. But for now, yeah, specialties are GS and Super G.
Speed skiing, huh? Specialty and speed. Man, when I think about speed skiing, I always look at it and go, those speed guys are crazy. Like, you've got to have that little switch in your head because you're traveling at such a pace.
Yeah.
What was that like? Like, as you've grown up and you've got more involved in racing and now you're a professional, like, how was that mental switch to make speed skiing your like preferred discipline?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think for me, like, I always liked to go fast and I always really enjoyed it. And like, I mean, I remember with you straight lining the saddle back in the day and doing stuff like that. And I think, like, yeah, as a young kid, always really enjoyed going fast. And yeah, taking that into a race environment and having that confidence as a kid going fast and bringing it into like the race aspect of things is super helpful. But it's funny, it's almost like back then I was so comfortable and it was free reign. I was doing whatever I wanted and going wherever I wanted. It was a bit more comfy, and now it's like when you're having to go fast on hard, dark, icy tracks, yeah, it's definitely a little bit more nerve-wracking. So
a question that I've got, actually, I'm sure a few people are thinking this as well at home, right? So with the hard, dark, icy tracks, like on a World Cup injected slope, like how slick are we talking? Like, is there a spectrum? Do they always try and make every track feel the same? Or I mean, obviously the weather plays a huge role on how the snow is going to feel. But for everyone back at home, like, what's an ideal like World Cup surface for speed skiing?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of variability, as you said, with the weather. But there's definitely some tracks that are known to be a little bit more challenging, like Bormio every year, just with how it is in the calendar. It's right before, kind of right after Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's really dark at that time of the year, and they water the slope. And so it pretty much just turns into a almost skating rink.
Right.
And because it's so dark and there's no light and people are just doing laps on it all week long, it gets really bumpy. So the 3 words everybody used to describe Bormio is like dark, icy, bumpy.
Dark, icy, bumpy.
But yeah, and then kind of like as you get towards the end of the season, it gets a little bit more forgiving. There's more sun on the hill, stuff like that. But yeah, it changes every race.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So just before we head off skiing, we're going to introduce our equipment to you guys so you know sort of what we're skiing on, but also just to give you guys a bit of an idea on the conditions we have on Whistler or on Blackcomb today. It didn't quite refreeze last night. We're skiing here in May, and so it's pretty slushy, but we're going to give it our best crack. It's not quite hard. What is it? Dark, bumpy, icy?
Hard, dark, bumpy, icy.
Dark, bumpy,
Yeah.
icy. It's definitely going to be bumpy, but it's not. It's dark, muddy, bumpy, and
Muddy,
slushy.
bumpy.
Muddy,
Yeah.
bumpy, and slushy are our 3 words today. So.
Yeah.
Before we head away, we'll introduce our equipment. Sasha, why don't you go first, bud?
Yeah, so for today I'm on the true Rossignol World Cup slalom ski. I've got my Lecky poles and I'm skiing a 150 flex Rossignol boot.
For myself, I've got the original Plus 6S. It's a 165 13 meter radius ski. I've got my friend Shun from Japan, his poles with the funky grip that I love. And I'm also skiing on the Fisher World Cup boot, which is a 150 clog and a 170 cuff. What do you think's a good outcome for us today?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it in the gondola. It's been warm. It didn't really freeze last night. We're going to be dealing with some pretty slushy, pretty sinky snow. So I think as high a performance slalom turn we can get kind of within that range of 10 meters long down the hill or 10 meters deep down the hill. You use that word depth.
Yeah.
And then 5 meters, 6 meters across.
Yeah, no, nice. And something that we're going to have to be conscious of today, like you said, it's sinky snow, but also the grooming, right? If it didn't freeze, there's probably going to be some grooming ruts. So I like your idea of like as much performance as we can get. So in the sinky snow, like what might be the like adaptation of performance? Like where are you going to get the most out of the ski? Do you feel? Let's just sort of chatting about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when the snow is softer, slushier, a bit sinky, I think it's going to be a real challenge to kind of get the response that I would usually want out of the ski at the top of the turn, early in the turn. You might have to, if you're looking for that, kind of throwing in a little bit of a ski direct or a check in the top of the turn to kind of help you get that feedback that you're looking for. And then like if you're looking for more of a carvy turn, just being aware that that carve is going to come in the softer snow a little bit. The pressure is going to be coming a little bit later in the turn, kind of towards the end. You're going to be hooking back more across the hill a little bit.
Yeah. No, it sounds perfect. I like that. That sounds like a really clear, really good outcome for us to shoot for today. How was your season? Like, how was it this year?
Yeah, I think, I mean, as I said in the intro, I think we've taken a lot of videos, can't really remember now, but yeah, I think the season had definitely a lot of ups and downs. The good days are really good and the bad days were obviously super challenging.
Yeah.
But I think a lot learned, and like getting a good amount of exposure in Europe, which is like, this is definitely the most amount of time I've spent in Europe in a season, it was really good. It was really good to get out there and kind of get comfortable in the field over there. Yeah, I think it was good learning for sure.
And what's it like, right? So going from the BC provincial team, and now being a national team member, like what's that process and that journey like?
Yeah, I think it's cool for sure. I mean, like the second you enter FIS in Canada, most kids, the first thing they're thinking about is making their provincial team.
Okay.
And then as soon as you make your provincial team, the first thing you're thinking about is making the national team, right? I mean,
is the jump up based off purely like results, or is it how you train and like they get to know, like what's the sort of like arc or pathway for anyone who's watching who's at the first year FIS?
For sure. Well, it's sweet because now in Canada, for a lot of years there wasn't a development team, so it made that jump from a provincial team. There was nothing in between provincial team and the World Cup team, so the team that's skiing solely World Cup races.
Yeah.
So that was really challenging, and now that there's like this development team, which is the team that I'm on, it's super nice, and I think it makes that like, when you enter FIS, it makes that pathway to World Cup and like to what you want your career to be much more like of something that you really can believe is actually going to happen.
Yeah, okay. It's like they've basically created like a much more of a...
one more rung in the ladder.
Yeah, and it makes it more like achievable.
Totally.
You just go little by little as opposed to BC Provincial to you're starting in Solden.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, nice. And I was having this chat, so just out of curiosity, right? This is a bit conjecture, but I was having this chat with a friend of mine last night about ski racing, about the World Cup, and how it's one of the only sports where at the top professional level you're always representing a country. And I saw Van Deer, Red Bull Racing, as they've come around with Marcel Hirscher at the forefront of it all. I was wondering, like, do you see a world in ski racing in the future, and this is just all hypothetical, but like where teams
you're having factory teams?
You're having factory teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think every year, every sport, there's lots of rumors what's going to change, what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen the year after that.
Yeah.
And they're talking, maybe a rumor I heard is maybe shortening or shrinking the World Cup circuit, so like 40 racers max a race per discipline. And then kind of making it like having like the World Cup be like almost like an F1, and then having maybe like something like the Europa Cup be like an F2,
right? And
then like qualification kind of works through that.
Yeah.
But then now you're seeing kind of new ski brands pop up, getting funding from brands outside of like the actual ski manufacturing world, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I think like definitely one day maybe there is a world where we have factory teams in ski racing, but yeah, I think for now it works pretty well with the competing for your nation. But I mean, it would be cool to see some brands popping in. I'd be interested to see if at one point there were ever factory teams racing against nations. I think that would be pretty crazy.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Because I mean, ski racing really, it's such an exciting sport to watch.
Yeah.
So whatever we can do to try and get more eyeballs onto it would be awesome.
Totally, yeah.
And a lot of, I mean, like at the essence of like skiing, the technique is based off what happens in gates on the World Cup, and it's all distilled down, trickled down, and it's the same technique that a beginner would learn, just refined to how to balance on the skis.
Totally.
But even the best like yourself in the world, you're still trying to balance on the skis.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like something that you learn when you're 10 is stand on the outside ski, and something that you learn you're trying to do when it's bumpy and you're skiing dark icy gates is stand on the outside ski. Yeah.
I love it. We've been given our outcome a go. That outcome of like a slalom turn, okay, in about a 10-meter corridor, so depth, 10 meters down the hill, and looking at roughly 4 to 5 meters across, right? That's our outcome with as much sort of pace and performance as we can in the slush that we have. Now, you were saying to me just before that there's a drill that you like to use when you've got the slalom skis on your feet. Why don't you share that with everyone at home, like how you go about developing these skills?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, a big thing is like at the start of the day, getting my body in a position and my feeling on the skis confident enough so that when I bring it into the course, I'm feeling good, and like getting like those feelings that I want to get in the course a little bit slowed down before I go and put them in an environment. So for me, a drill that really works is like a mini power plow step out drill, kind of sliding turn. It just helps me to really like feel the platform build into the turn, and then like from there I can be in a strong position slowly through the rest of the turn.
And when we say like feeling the platform build, like is that for you, does platform come down to the edge being sort of like cutting a bit into the snow, or is it more a feeling on the foot? Or when you say platform, what does the feeling mean to you?
For me, I feel like it's like the response that I'm getting back from the snow through my feet. So I'm like feeling kind of like as I'm starting the turn, the pressure build, and then as I'm coming through the turn, hitting that like apex. We are going slow, but that little apex, and then like letting that go into the next turn and through the transition.
Right, perfect. So with this particular drill, like you're looking at it from a perspective of your work, you're getting feelings above the full line or above the apex.
Yeah. That's kind of the target.
For you guys at home, like when you're trying this stuff, we're on a green run here. Take it to an easy slope and give it a go here first, right? So you can try and get some of the feelings that Sasha's talking about, building that platform of the pressure above the full line and being in a strong position. What he was doing was a little bit of a step. So a little bit of a step, good position, bringing it out. So a little bit of a wedge or a step, coming through. Step, find some pressure on the outside foot, bring it around. So Sasha, you're just saying like a couple of little focuses for yourself in that, like?
Yeah, I think one thing that's easy is when you're doing that and trying to find the platform, it's easy to step out too far.
Right.
And then you kind of lose that like upper body above lower body, and you lose that strong stack position. So a big cue for me is not stepping out too far. And then kind of like as I'm starting to kind of feeling that ankle flex right after I've stepped out really helps me to feel that like pressure build right at the top.
Yeah, okay, so you're getting the ankle to engage, and it's, if you pan the camera down for a sec, so it's not stepping out here.
No.
Right, but it's stepping maybe like there.
Exactly.
And you're trying to feel that foot kind of roll with the ankle engagement.
Yeah, and it kind of just helps you when you step to give it a little bit, it's kind of awkward to be flexing the ankle from here, but as soon as you step to go make a turn, it's much more natural going from there.
And you feel the foot come to the inside of it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Or an interesting thing that you were saying this morning before we had the cameras rolling, which was for you, like racing or on the national team, one of the big, like let's say mottos is minimal edge angle, but maximum early pressure, right?
Yeah. So you want to be building the most pressure with the least edge angle, because if you're thinking about it, when you're racing, you're trying to generate speed every single turn.
Yeah.
And so like kind of how that works is you want to be pressured early so that you can then release speed into the turn, and with that, the less actual ski edge pressure that you have, the less kind of like momentum you're going to be losing into the snow.
Yeah, and you need enough edge, obviously, to create the sort of...
to create that pressure.
To create the turn, right? Because the edge will get the ski to bend, and we were talking earlier, like if it's a swingy slalom, like there's a lot of offset, you're going to need to go across the hill, but
you're going to need to build more edge angle.
But this idea of like, if I step out here, then what's happening is I'm creating maybe unnecessary edge angle for this, right?
Unnecessary edge angle.
And then the feet go way outside.
Yeah, and you're just not in as strong of a position compared to when your feet are more under you.
We're on a little bit of a steeper slope here. And Sash, you were saying that there's like a couple of variations, right? Like you can do a lift in a place on this.
Yeah.
And the other one that you quite often do when it's a little bit steeper is?
It's more of like, you're kind of focused, all the focus is going to that new outside ski. And so like, say I'm coming across to do a left footer here. It's more of just like a flare out, not a step. Just feeling like everything building on that new outside ski, and then it's almost like as I'm coming around, just because all the focus has been on this new ski, it's almost like a step in to come align with the two skis. So the inside ski is actually stepping in to follow that new arc that you've built with the outside ski.
Yeah, and when it comes down to a performance in this drill, like you're not trying to purely carve it, right?
No, definitely not. I would say for me, like, I'm pretty much this drill almost always sliding the whole turn.
Yeah, so there's some steering and the ski is like just sliding along the surface of the snow.
And then not a bad idea is like as you kind of done this drill a couple turns, maybe you've done a couple runs of it, you're kind of building that like step, flare, what have you, into more of just like a full sliding turn, looking for the same feelings, and then from those sliding turns, building them into carving turns all the time, looking for that same feeling of building a really strong platform at the top of your turn.
And when you talk about the feeling that you search for, like, do you personally, this is very like your personal feeling, but do you have a part of the foot that you're searching for to tell you, hey, I'm doing this correctly, the way I want to, like I'm gonna have success with it?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm searching for it, but when I'm thinking about it, for me it's definitely the ball of the foot.
Okay.
Ball of the foot, and then like, yeah, forefoot, ball of the foot. I mean, maybe when you're rolling into the turn, a little bit of like the big toe.
Sure.
You know, because you're kind of building that inside little bit of ski pressure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And do you stay, like, this is curiosity.
Yeah.
Do you stay on the ball of the foot throughout your whole turn?
Yeah.
Or do you do?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
always
for
trying
sure.
to try and stay right there.
Yeah. I mean, unless I'm skiing some really big, long, carving, super G downhill turns, or maybe the end of a snappy, ugly GS turn is kind of when I'm starting to get like through the back of the foot. But like, the goal would be I'm never losing the ball of the foot coming onto the heel.
Yeah, okay. So it's like the ball of the foot, there's always some contact there.
For sure.
And so in a drill like this, when we're going slower and we're steering or skidding the ski, it gives skiers a good opportunity to like say, okay, I'm trying to feel the ball the whole time, and I'm not going a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
I can search for that here in this drill.
Yeah, and the slower you go, the easier it is going to be to focus on that like feedback from the snow into the ball of your foot.
Yeah. For the interesting thing for me is like, because I hear you and I respect what you're saying 100%. Like, I get forward on my ski.
Yeah.
Like that's normally my miss. You know, we were playing golf yesterday, and it's like, you know, the miss might be a slice or a hook or whatever.
Yeah.
My miss in skiing is I get too
like
far
you almost like go over it.
Like
okay,
I get too eager. Like I get aggressive. Kind of like my golf swing. I just come down at it. But basically, like for me, like I want to feel the ball at the top of the turn, but then I'm always trying to have pressure on the heel in the full line and in the bottom part.
Yeah.
Just so I don't get there.
Yeah.
Like too much into the front of the boot.
Interesting.
That's me. I mean.
I think it's also like a big difference between like a racing turn and a high performance free skiing carving turn.
Yeah.
Because like this, you're much more controlled all the way through, and like for us, like as soon as we've got that top of the turn done and we've generated that pressure and speed, all we're trying to do is control the release and control like the acceleration that we get out of that turn. And pretty much once you've got that, as long as you can gain speed from that, it doesn't really matter what you're doing in the like obviously it matters, like you have to be in a good position to the bottom of the turn, but you're not really like focused on like, oh, what am I feeling? What am I doing? Like, it's just like controlling that release and making sure you're setting yourself up so that you're in a good position to start the next turn.
Oh, that was beautifully said, Sasha. That really was. So what you can see there, the little slide out, and then that inside foot comes round once he's built the pressure to the outside. Beautiful demo there, Sasha. For me, just like general chit chat. Like I was really trying to find the ball of the foot, like you said. Yeah. Just through here. But then, just for me, I'm like, okay, ball, but keep it. But then heel at the end. Yeah. And I think, it's just the difference between instructors or you know.
Yeah. Also, like when I'm watching you do it, I feel like, or like just like your carving turns, it feels like to me like there's a lot, and like all instructors, there's a lot more finish to the turn to control the speed as you like come across the hill, because when you're skiing and there's people around, you can't be going that fast. Yeah. So there's a lot more control and like finish to the turn of like a strong like something like you can really see the turn end and then start the new turn. And I think for racing, it's a lot less of like finishing the turn and more just like controlling that release and just building it, building speed into the new turn.
Yeah, like you've got the pace, like you've got your pressure, and you said your control here. Yeah. And then an instructor might go like there. Yeah. Whereas you're going there.
Yeah, exactly. Like perfectly drawn.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's it's good understanding is like what, like your intention and your outcome might vary. Based off the situation you're in, like whether you're trying to ski a race course. Totally. Or whether that you're making more of the turns that we were doing this morning.
Yeah.
But one of the other things we were chatting about on the lift up, which I thought was really interesting, is as we were discussing what our task might be for today, like I was saying to you, hey, look, I always think about a turn like in terms of a width.
Yeah.
Right? So like from one side, from like the apex of a right foot across to the apex of a left.
Yeah.
And look at that in meters. And on a slalom ski, I would say it's like 5 meters, right? Is what I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
And you were saying, interesting, but you don't think about, no one thinks about it across,
No. Like in like the race world, like you've got a start gate and you've got a finish, and there's regulations on how many gates have to be. Like there's a minimum and a maximum gates for every single course.
Yeah.
And so basically, when someone's setting the course and measuring all their gates, they're measuring their gates in length. So from gate to down the hill, next gate.
Yeah.
So like, for example, like in slalom, you're kind of like, men's slalom, you're kind of skiing in like a really short would be maybe 9 meters.
Yep.
And then you're getting long, a really long turn would be 14.
Yep.
GS is like really short, you're in maybe like 22, 23, that would be quite short, quite tight. Longer, you'd be into 32.
Wow.
And then speed, obviously, you can get a 100 meter downhill turn or a whatever 60, 40 meter super G turn.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it really varies.
Yeah, it's cool. For me, what I'm trying to do is trying to move with the outside ski through the top of the turn as much as I can. Like if in this slush and with the way I'm skiing at the moment, like if I'm getting my body inside too early and not rolling or getting some feel for the outside, then I'm just pushing at the end. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be hard to really have anything going on throughout the bottom of the turn.
Exactly. So what I'm really trying to do is trying to move with the skis, and I'm feeling that in my core and in my outside foot. Like I'm trying to feel tension here through the hands as well, and be really stable with the body to go with the outside ski, feel some pressure in the foot. And then when I'm in the full line or just after the full line, I'm trying to make sure that I keep my outside foot right underneath me.
Totally.
And when I'm saying underneath, I mean like forwards and backwards.
Yeah.
So like as the ski's going through the slush and edge angles building, pressure's building, the ski's slowing down more than it would on ice, right?
Totally.
Because it varies.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure that foot stays right in line.
You're not losing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the two things that I'm really trying to cue into and focus on today to have some success with the task that we set. How about yourself, Ben?
Yeah, I think for me in the slush, it's important to remember that I'm not on ice. I can't put everything into the top of the turn right away as I would normally be if it's a harder surface.
Yeah.
You've got to think about being a little bit more gradual with the pressure, not hammering hard at the top. And then one thing for me, I mean, I was talking to you a little bit about this, is like when it's slushy, I think something that's really easy for a lot of people is to kind of like lose the skis. The skis come away from each other.
Like width.
Exactly, yeah. You're getting into a really wide stance as you're coming through the bottom of the turn just because a lot of people try and press into it, and when it's soft, it'll just keep going away from you. So kind of like for me, keeping a little bit more of a narrow stance, especially through transition, so when I'm setting up the turn, everything's a little bit more underneath me, and not underneath me as in fore aft, more of like a side to side. Yeah, you never really want to be thinking about pushing really hard into the ski.
Yeah, okay.
It's more of setting yourself up and putting your body in a position to resist the forces that are going to happen.
Yeah.
And then through resisting those forces, you're building energy.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, personally, that exact statement there, like I try and bottle that, and that's what I help people with, like my clients, my guests, is that like you're not trying to force it into the snow, because there's so much reaction force from the snow.
Yeah.
If you're balanced, like it's gonna be built. And that's so, is that something that you guys talk about on the national team? Like,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think like honestly for me, like it's a long, challenging process to understand the difference between pushing into the ski and resisting the ski. Well, the difference is I can understand the difference, but actually doing it, because like,
especially in a race course.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like, and for viewers at home, like, it's so easy when you're thinking about like building pressure on the outside ski to just be like, okay, I'm gonna like push really hard into the outside ski now, and that's gonna work really well.
Yeah.
But unless you're in like a really strong position, a lot of the time you're going to lose that outside ski and lose pressure a little bit.
Yeah, and for us today, like I think we can both agree that that idea of being not so aggressive but really precise.
Yeah,
with
gradual.
Gradual. How we're moving with the outside in the conditions we have, that's helping us have success, right?
Definitely. It's nice when you're starting to turn and not sinking 2 inches right away.
Yeah, like we had that run, you'll see it in the video, but we had that run when we were doing synchro.
Yeah.
And I had that right foot.
Full sink, full sink, yeah.
So it's, 100%. No, I love that. It's great reflections. All right, thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. We wouldn't be doing this without the support of you guys, so thank you very much. I want to say thank you to Sasha for coming on the channel today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Mate, I mean, honestly, like, it's surreal, right? I coached you when you were 10 here in Whistler, and
Totally.
And now you're,
Doesn't feel that long ago.
it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'll link all of Sasha's socials in the description below. And for anyone out there who's looking to support or sponsor an up-and-coming future #1 overall Super G champion, then get in touch with Sasha. Any support or sponsorship helps his cause and his journey. And if you've enjoyed the content today, hit a like, hit a subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you like the new Piste It Together video series. But until the next, thank you very much.
See you later.